Ladies and gentlemen, Two Dudes Talk Music in conjunction with E. Brown Industries and Big Jerry Burger brings to you everybody's new favourite game show, Get in the Bin. Now, let's go to our host, Reverend Raph and the beer buddy, Kyle. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am the Reverend Raph, joined once again by my good friend Kyle, aka the beer buddy.
What's going on?
We are the Two Dudes Who Talk Music, and we are back on your screens once again with our new mate, Kevin Tiah, who we've been chatting to all week about his upcoming release, Code Break. That is coming out, as you're watching this video, that is coming out tomorrow, and we're going to have a reaction dropping tomorrow for it as well. So make sure you go and follow Kevin on everything, and check out the new song, and check out our reaction to that. But we are here for everybody's favourite Sunday night game show, Get in the Bin. Now, this is the point where we ask our guests, if they had phenomenal cosmic powers and with the snap of their finger, they could eliminate any three things, any three elements from the music business, big or small, selfish or altruistic, whatever aspects of the business they don't like, that's where we talk about it. So, without further ado, mate, what is the first thing that you would eliminate from the music business and why?
I'll go with less pay to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean like people being able to buy onto tours and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Like if my parents were celebrities or if they were just super rich, you could be famous like in 6 months because you could just pay through the best producers in the world to get you on the best. I mean, wherever you need to be.
Push in the right circles with the right people will just, And that's the thing. I don't think people know the impact of even just knowing someone, like on a personal level. Not just, I know who that person is and as acquaintance, but actually being just even that much friends with them can step you in. So always be careful with who you're talking to. And
Well, that's it. I mean, the whole thing is a business of who you know, and having a lot of money or having a bit of fame will vastly open up those doors on who you can know. So it's
well, you can pay for all the YouTube ads, you can pay for the Facebook ads, you can pay for this, you can pay for that. It's just the whole system is it's free to play, but it's pay to win.
Yes,
absolutely. You know, have you heard the stories about what Kiss used to do when they were sort of starting out?
Nope.
No? Okay. And this is a perfect example of it, right? And look, I'm not going to lie. If I had the resources, I'd fucking do this. I'd absolutely do this if I had the resources. But basically, when they were going to a town, they would find two of the most popular bands in the town. They would book one of the biggest bands that they could find from the town in the headliner spot, put themselves right before that, and then before Kiss, they'd have like the next biggest band they could get from the town. So they would basically sandwich themselves in between two really big acts from the town. Then, on the day of the show, they'd be going around the area, finding all these, like, as many attractive women as they could. And they'd be like, hey, we're in a band, we're playing a show tonight. If we give you a t-shirt and pay for your ticket and a couple of drinks, will you come to the show? And so, and of course, this is like the 70s where, like, if you're a band on stage and you have, you know, a half a dozen hot women in the crowd wearing your shirts and screaming and cheering for you, people are going to start paying attention to what you're doing. So that was one of the ways that they really built a lot of their, you know, presence early on. And I'm like, you know what? If I had the money, I would fucking do the same thing.
Yeah. That is the smartest idea I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where South Park got, what is it? The Scream Factor? South Park done an episode on that. Like if you can get a whole bunch of women screaming, it will automatically spread out to other women, and then it'll make the thing instantaneously popular.
There you go. It's an interesting theory. I'm sure there's something to be said on it, but I guess it just ultimately it comes down to having the resources to present as popular as you want to be, and fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
right?
Just for the job that you want, not for the one that you have.
Yeah, but like if I started showing up every day dressed as Batman, my boss would get a little bit annoyed.
Yep. I think the key word is your mileage may vary.
Yes, yes, your mileage may vary. Absolutely, your mileage may vary. Okay, cool. But no, I completely understand that. More of a meritocracy, less pay to win.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's your second thing?
Make the music industry less manufactured.
Okay.
So that means give everyone a chance to be different, unique in their own
Hmm.
way, and don't prioritize manufactured music as being the
Hmm.
industry standard, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
No, it does 100%.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I think this is something that I think we see because we talked about this a lot on the channel in the past. Of I think in Australia, there's a lot of like there's a reason there's so many incredible Aussie bands, right? And I've maintained that if you take most, your average, fairly popular Aussie band and put them, and it would just literally transplant them into the US market with with a bit of backing, they would do really well. They would do really, really well, and they would be able to make a really good self-sustaining career out of it. Um, but I think the reason that happens so much in Australia is because, especially in like the rock and metal space, we recognize that we learn very early on that it's a fairly niche space, and despite the popularity of it, it's not a great way to make a lot of money. So what tends to happen collectively is people tend to not trend chase in Australian rock and metal. I think we tend to just go, look, if we're going to make it, we're going to make it on our own terms. It's already so unlikely that we're going to quote unquote make it. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it on our own terms. And so they stay truer to their artistic vision rather than trend chasing.
Mm.
And I think that results in such a much more impressive outcomes and much more just unique and interesting music. Um, there's a reason that if you take like, and it sucks that the audiences aren't here and that the resources aren't here to really have these bands on at the level that they deserve to be at. Um, which is why I always love it when I see Aussie bands popping up on other people's radars. Like, and I'll always do that. Like, I'll always anyone that's from from overseas that I talk to that I get talking to about music, I'll send them a fucking list, like pages and pages of bands to check out because there's gonna be if you're from watching this from overseas, like check out Aussie bands. You will find your new favorite fucking thing. You will.
Yeah.
You will absolutely find it. Like it's a but yeah, no, I think that's there's a lot to be said about, and this is what we touched on, in the quick question quarter about like industry plants and manufactured
Mm.
stuff. Um, and I think I will say though I think the word manufactured gets thrown around a lot in the wrong contexts as well.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like that's awesome. That's 100%. That's a really really valid one, and I think I really do agree with that. What's your third one? What's the third thing that you would change about the business and why?
I would say stop limiting opportunities to specific regions of the world. What I mean by saying that is provide more opportunities to other people around the world as well. Because I find that a lot of, I guess, success in the music industry is always defined as, being in America.
Mm.
Like a lot of
Mm.
most big bands in Australia have to go to America to make it big. And
Mm.
I feel like
Well,
record
they're all the
labels,
UK.
yeah, they're the UK. I feel like record labels should expand their search for talent around the world a bit more.
Mm,
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Look, I'm going to be honest, and this may piss off a lot of Australian viewers. We suck. We fucking suck. We don't give a shit about a band until they fucking start selling out places overseas, and then all of a sudden they're the main exporter in our country, and all of a sudden everyone gives a shit. We suck as fans. We don't go out anywhere near enough to go and check out these people at the grassroots, and it's our own fault. why by the end of it, on the back end, you end up having to pay $100 plus to go see a band that's from Sydney or from Australia because you've waited too long. And now that they're selling out places in London and America and stuff like that, why wouldn't they spend them like they played here for free for so long? They deserve to get a bit of their fucking money back, as far as I'm concerned. And I can only just judge that off even off our YouTube channel alone. When you have a look at our Australian numbers, dude, we have friends that are here. Like, and you have a look at our Australian numbers, and it's in the point zero something of a percent of our 100% listeners or viewers. And we can't even tap into our own market. So yes, as fans, we have a lot to fucking answer for as far as getting our own music big. We spend so much time worrying about the outside noise of what's going on in the rest of the world that we miss on what's going on in our backyard.
Yep.
I think I think musicians, we exist, people like Kyle and myself and yourself as well there, Kevin, like I feel like we exist in a bit of a bubble. Like we're always looking for new stuff. We're always trying to keep that interest going. We kind of sometimes forget what the average person's experience with music is.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, it's not part of their life in the same way that it is for people like ourselves. For people like all of us, right?
And then it's time and money on top of that.
And like cost of living crisis, going out to see bands, like paying money to see live bands and even playing music yourself is a luxury that is one of the first ones to go.
I'll even
But
go out
it's
on a
rough.
limb
But I
here and
agree.
just
Like
say,
I think overall, like yes, labels need to look more around the world for stuff. Like that's part of the whole. It's literally one of the reasons we started doing Rockin' Around the World, because we wanted to find more amazing bands from all over the world, and we've seen we've fucking bands from Guam that are like absolutely ripping it up. Fucking
yeah,
bands from like Portugal, Madagascar, like
that was weird as shit, but
it was weird, but it's there. And because for every Baby Metal, for every Bloody Wood, for every The Who, there's thousands of other bands that have the potential to be just as good if they had the right backing. So yeah, no, look, that's awesome. Yeah. Like that's really, really cool. I think they
were good ones, man. They were really good ones.
Really strong ones. Absolutely. Nice. So, well, look, that concludes our time with Kevin this week. Mate, it's been awesome talking to you and getting to learn a bit about your whole process. And I've just, I've been just constantly admiring the guitar wall behind you there.
Yeah.
Keep peeking at that. I keep peeking at that Stingray over your right shoulder there.
Which one?
The red Stingray bass hanging up on the wall there.
Yeah.
It looks like it's an Ernie Ball Music Man bass, but it might be. I don't know.
That one there.
Yeah, that one there. But yeah, look, thank you so much, man. It's been awesome chatting to you there. Like I said, Kevin's new song, Code Break, comes out tomorrow. Go and fucking follow him on shit. Go and check out the song. It's a great song. It's a great video. It's well worth your time. We have a reaction dropping to it on the channel tomorrow as well. So if you want to go and check that out, please do. If you've had a good time with us today, please consider hitting subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. And consider liking that video there. If you don't like the video, downvote the shit out of it. That's what the button's there for. Click something. I don't care. Whatever you click, YouTube's going to be happy. And go and follow Kevin on all of his platforms because you're going to want to keep up with what this guy's got going on. Again, Kevin, thank you so much for spending your time with us. This has been awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching so far. Remember, I am the Reverend Rav, and this is Big Buddy Kyle. We are the two dudes who talk music. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves and your mates. We'll catch you guys next time. Stay cool.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.